Today I'm joined by Bridget Mansfield, who's the Teams Phone Product Manager for Microsoft. So good afternoon to you, Bridget. And also Paul Craft, who's the MSDR and IP Voice Solutions Specialist at Gamma. For my sins, my name is Michael Gore. I'm Head of Customer Success here at Cobweb Solutions. And I'm delighted to have the opportunity to have you join us today to what I hope and believe will be a very informative and worthwhile webinar. So over to you, Bridget.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, everyone. Yes, my name's Bridget, and I'm going to talk to you about how you can leverage your Microsoft Teams platform as a phone system using Microsoft Teams Phone in order to help support an advanced modern communication strategy, all that's completely integrated within the security of Microsoft 365. So we've realised that to compete in this new hybrid world today, leaders must embrace extreme flexibility in when, where and how people work. And with hybrid work being the norm for most of us over this past year, building and maintaining those connections has been challenging. While meetings are important and they often dictate my own working day, I definitely miss those impromptu conversations you can have, when you happen to pass by someone in the office, for example. Studies show that voice is the human connection that builds relationships and creates understanding. And I definitely found that to be more apparent during lockdown. I often find myself messaging with a colleague over Teams, and I'd quickly turn that chat into a voice call to work through something together. Being able to pick up the phone, whether I'm on my laptop on Teams or on my mobile phone on the Teams app, has definitely been a key factor in maintaining connections to my colleagues, customers and partners through this past year. And Microsoft Teams has been adapted for inclusive hybrid experiences, and it's now known for being a complete digital headquarters. But hybrid working, or the new way of working, it doesn't come without its own challenges. So you might be looking at what your return to office looks like at the moment. So will you allow employees to have a choice, whether to be in the office or to work remotely? And with that, it presents us with a challenge in itself, because many organisations have built and designed their telephony solutions around users being actually in an office, using a dedicated network and PC, or a physical phone handset that's attached to their desks. And there's three areas to think about here. The first one is hybrid workspaces. So employees need to communicate from any work site on any device. The second is evolving calling scenarios. Organisations require flexible phone capabilities, but while keeping onto those classic calling features. And the third is pressure on IT budget and resources. Modern solutions must be cost effective as well as easy to manage. So how do we bring this all to life? Well, we obviously do this with the help of our partners through Microsoft Teams, as well as Teams Phone. So let me just break it down. Teams Phone is an add-on solution to Microsoft Teams that allows you to leverage your Teams platform as an entire phone system. We all know that the way we work has changed quite dramatically, and many of us have been without a traditional work phone for the best part of a year or more now. This is a great opportunity to work on a new device strategy and to rethink what a business phone or a phone in general really is. And we can see this being done already by unprecedented growth in Teams and Teams Phone, with 250 million active users on Teams in 181 markets. Over 1 billion one-to-one calls are made each month, and all of these are supported in 53 different languages. Microsoft has been positioned just at the end of last year as leaders in the leaders section again for the 2021 Gartner Magic Quadrant for Unified Communications as a Service. This is Microsoft's third consecutive year as leader in this UCAS quadrant, and it continues to validate our leadership in this space. Right, so what does Microsoft Teams Phone actually provide? Well, first of all, it integrates calls seamlessly into the flow of work. It meets business needs with unified, modern and classic calling features. It optimizes IT resources with streamlined setup and management. And it provides users with flexible but budget-conscious devices. So let's take a look at these pillars in a bit more detail. So when we talk about the ability to integrate calls into the flow of work, an example would be, as I mentioned earlier, when you can quickly just start a call from a Teams chat or just from your call history, or one that I particularly like even from your Outlook email. You can see contact cards there and just quickly call someone. We use the expression management from a single pane of glass because the fluidity and ease of running your business is literally all there in front of you. You can also collaborate in Microsoft 365 apps directly from calls and meetings together. And you can leverage the full suite of calling features from any device or any location. The new modern calling experience looks at what you have in your existing phone system with features that you would have been used to for multiples of years, but then improves the experience with things like live captions and transcriptions. It also optimizes the customer experience that you can provide your own customers with features like consultative transfers, music on hold, and voicemail transcriptions. I particularly like this one. It's great if you receive a voicemail and you're not in a position to listen to it at the time. You can just scroll through and read it like a text message. It also offers auto attendance. So that allows you to set menu options for incoming calls. So you can hear, so potential customers could hear things such as, for sales, press 1, for services, press 2, and so on. And then it would put them into call queues for those specific departments. Or with our accessibility features, you can actually just say the words sales or services instead of physically having to press a button. Oh, and diving deeper into one of our popular calling updates, we've something called voice-enabled channels that I've tried to show an example for you here, which enables users to connect those call queues I was just referencing directly into specific Teams channels. Users can collaborate and share information within the channel while taking calls in the queue. So hopefully you can see here, there's the company called Northwind Traders, and you can see on the very left, the support channel is highlighted in white. So this support help desk has their own voice-enabled channel. So any inbound calls for support gets routed directly to this channel only. So the phones that ring there are anyone assigned to that support channel, and that team will be able to see all of the support call history and stats that you can see in the middle section there. They also have their own dial pads on the right-hand side, and they can see the statuses of their other colleagues in that team who are available in a call or offline in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you look at the top of the middle section, you can see a post option next to support. So you click on there and they have a wall where they can post messages to each other, and they can see the statuses of all their service tickets. That could obviously be done for any department. Optimizing IT. So you can easily add phone numbers and manage your entire phone system through the Teams Admin Center. IT would have the responsibility to manage the end user experience and be able to understand the quality of their users' experience as well. It would be providing you with the data-driven ability to see performance and understand that usage, so you can take the appropriate steps to mitigate and report using the Teams call quality dashboard. Gamma has an extremely detailed version of this, which they're going to be showing you a bit later on. With purpose-built devices for Teams, we've innovated beyond traditional phones to provide a consistent experience across all devices that you might have. And your employees will end up with one primary phone number that can span across all of these devices too. With Teams Phone, you can have a cool feature such as WalkieTalkie, which was launched not too long ago, the end of last year. So like traditional walkie-talkies, you press and hold a button to speak and release the button to listen. This is used on your phone though, so there's no extra device that you'll need to carry around with you. And that's completely integrated in your Teams platform, within your Teams platform and your phone contacts. Another feature which we've literally has just launched over the past few days is having the ability to use the desk phone to quickly enable that push to talk function. We've been playing around with it actually recently. It's quite handy when you need to quickly deliver a message. Okay, so what is the business value? So what's the benefit of Teams Phone? Sometimes I think that we focus on license costs versus those associated with the total cost of ownership. And we shouldn't forget that there's significant investments associated with IT costs, physical hardware, maintenance and support attached to those on-premise solutions. So when you're looking at your end-to-end unified communication strategy, you're looking for ways to optimize how your employees communicate while saving money tied to these 4 pillars that you can see on the slide here. So the first one on the left, physical and travel cost savings. I mean, I've personally saved loads on travel this past year, and reductions in device costs, as I mentioned earlier. Moving on to the second one, process improvement and savings made from automation, and gains from improved voice communications. Savings from simplified management and support, so reduced cost of PBX administration, equipment and licensing, plus savings made from consolidating everything into one platform. If you're interested in knowing what this means for your business specifically, I'd recommend reaching out to someone from Cobweb who can advise you. So let's go into the potential cost savings a bit further. And this can vary depending on your business size, your deployment schedule, your cloud adoption maturity, and just a number of other variables. But these numbers here are to illustrate the potential savings your company could achieve with a modern communications setup. So let me choose the right-hand side example here. You can see that 50 Teams Phone seats, Teams Phone licenses, has the potential to save up to 48,000 per year. And better voice communications due to the capabilities in Teams Phone increases employee productivity and enables a highly mobile workforce, allowing you to save on your physical overhead costs. So in this example, we can see benefits of £144,000 over 3 years, and that's working out at 2,900 per user. This results in a 411% return on investment with a 6-month payback period. But that's not all the benefits that we get with Teams. So let me dive more into product innovation, which we've delivered at an incredible pace. Over 300 new capabilities have gone live and loads more announced at the end of last year. Our goal was to rethink how we go to work. And for many of us now, going to work now means going to Teams. And with that in mind, we have just introduced Microsoft Mesh to use in Teams. I'm personally very excited about this one. Through Microsoft's Metaverse, Mesh allows people in different physical locations to join collaborative and holographic experiences. You can also customize your own virtual experience soon for when you're on a Teams phone call. As you can see here, there's a 3D avatar that you'll be able to have instead of clicking your camera off. So this is great because instead of having your camera off all the time, or if you're on a call and everyone has the camera off and you can just see the circle picture, you can't see facial expressions, it's not as sociable, and we don't have that connection quite as well. On the flip side of that, if you have your camera on in back-to-back meetings all day, every day, you are at risk of having screen fatigue. And this is, I guess, in between the two. So I can't wait to create my own avatar. I hope they have glasses as accessories available. Right, so let's take a look at our desktop calling experience itself in the Teams desktop app. So in a nutshell, this is Microsoft's version of a business phone handset today. It's had a refresh end of last year, and it's completely overhauled the calling experience. And that's a direct reaction to our customer feedback and usage. So we've upgraded the dialing pad and prioritised things like call history and stats that you can see in the middle. Added a speed dial into a profile section, that's mine on the top right, and just made it really simple to use, basically, really user-friendly. We've also focused on the mobile calling experience, as this is how many of us use Teams today. Now you can easily move your call from your desktop to your mobile phone or vice versa seamlessly without interrupting any part of the meeting. When you start to join a call from another device, there's a prompt that I've put on this slide here that you'll see on your phone. And that would ask you if you want to transfer, and you just click the button. This is so useful when you're on the go, moving from your laptop. For me, for example, when, say, in the past, I've had to travel to an appointment during a meeting, and I've simply switched devices, put my headphones in, and I was good to go. And from your mobile now to your car, the latest innovations brings Teams calling to Apple CarPlay. So now you can join Teams meetings and make phone calls completely hands-free when you're driving using Siri. We also have a very robust feature roadmap for Teams calling and Teams phone. So keep an eye out for some of these features coming soon. Some of these have actually already landed, just looking down the list. Especially this year, there's been lots of new features being available from January. Things like bandwidth control, dynamics integration, customized music on hold, and just much more. We're putting a lot of innovation and a lot of thought and investment into making Teams Phone one of the best calling experiences in the industry, along with our partners. And that falls into good timing with the PSTN switch off. So if you haven't heard about this, in 2025, BT is switching off their public switch telephone network and integrated services digital network. So that's just industry abbreviations for traditional phone networks that we've used, well, since the 1800s to connect phones. So anything non-digital calling. Openreach actually announced this back in 2018. And you can see on the slide that there's numerous milestones planned to keep this switch off on time. The target you can see is 2025, and that's for every phone line in the UK to be digital. This will affect all residential and business customers, and it aligns with the UK government's promise to see 15 million premises connected to full fibre by 2025. So I'd recommend reading up on this if you're not familiar with it, and you'll be able to see how it fits into planning your modern calling solutions today. And final slide from me. There's a few options for you for getting started. So you can choose Microsoft Teams Phone with our Microsoft calling plan, which comes with 1,200 domestic calling minutes, or the Teams Phone standalone option with calling plans and other features that's managed through Gamma via direct routing or Operator Connect. All of these options have great benefits, and Paul from Gamma will be able to tell you about them in just a few minutes. It's also worth noting that there used to be a cap for these. There used to be up to 300 seats for these licenses, and now it's made much more. It's much more straightforward. One person or thousands can buy the same phone license. So we've recently consolidated everything to not have any caps. It's one license for all types of businesses. With that said, I'm going to pass the virtual microphone back over to Michael now. Over to you, Michael. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Most informative. I should point out to the people on this call that sadly, this is not an avatar. This is actually me. Things can only get better. Okay, thank you for that. We now have Paul Croft of Gamma, who is going to help us to understand and walk us through direct routing, what that is to some people, and how it sits and fits within Teams Phone. So over to you, Paul.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. So Bridget's just touched on, Teams, the value to your business, features around Teams, and also the different ways that you can voice enable Teams today. Next 10 minutes or so, just going to give you a brief introduction if you're not familiar who Gamma are, why CobWeb have chosen Gamma to offer out this direct routing and voice enabled Teams. It'll be going into the value proposition and why and what's included and how you can make benefits for that for your business, as well as a bit of a differentiator and a value add on top, and that's really around our call manager. So it's something we're not going to do a full demo today, but certainly speak to the guys at CobWeb and they can arrange that for you. Just give you a bit of a taster of this call manager that you will have access to that can enhance the Teams capability that Bridget's shown you. Hopefully you can see my slides okay. So Gamma, who are we? We were established in 2001, and our voice platform is an integrated part of the National Voice and Data Network. Gamma is part of that national switching infrastructure, and our network interconnects directly into all UK major networks, as well as international fixed and the mobile carriers. So we see about over 25% of all business traffic now comes via our Gamma network. So if you're not familiar with us, you might already be using our services, but we're providing this. We've got that heritage. We're providing a pedigree service to over 6 million business customers. We provide a 99.9% SLA on that, and we've got over 1.8 billion minutes per month transacting over our network. As you see there, there's 1.2 million SIP channels. Means we are the #1 voice connectivity provider in the UK. The latest stats here for 2020, we're just awaiting the next version for 2021. You can see there, Gamma, clear #1 provider. We're actually larger than the top 3 combined, the BT, Vodafone of this world. And really, that's over nearly 50% of all SIP channels are coming through us now. So we're a safe, trusted pair of hands and voice connectivity, providing that quality of service to our customers. So Gamma has had a relationship with Microsoft for many years. We've been providing voice connectivity for anyone that can remember OCS, Link, Skype for Business, and now Teams. So what we've done is continue to ensure we've got the latest accreditations. We've got a very strong relationship with them. We continue to ensure that we hold all the latest accreditations, one being calling for Microsoft Teams advanced specialization. There's only a handful of providers out there which hold that, and Gamma is pleased to say is one of those. So here, don't need to say, we've got a multitude of customers ranging from enterprise all the way down to SMB. Some of the latest ones which are uptaking our direct routing service at scale, HMRC, for instance, and the largest public sector customer has just signed up as well. So it's a platform for everyone, and it's something which I'll show exactly what that means to you and your business. So going into exactly what direct routing is, Bridget sort of touched on that option around direct routing to voice enable your Teams. Very simply, you've already got that M365 or Office 365 license, which includes Teams. Bridget mentioned around the new licensing model. So Microsoft Teams Phone add-on. So previously that was called Business Voice and Phone System. Now it's very simple. It's a Teams Phone add-on. You add on that Teams Phone license, and you've then got Gamma and CobWeb's direct routing service that lights up and gives you access to those users to make external calls, dial tone, to access to that public switch telephone network, the PSTN, and then obviously an internet connection. So if we take the simple call flow at the bottom there, you've got your organization via the internet, goes to your Microsoft Office 365 tenant, which is held in the Microsoft data centers within the Office 365 network. That will connect with Gamma, and that will then flow via interconnect directly into our network. We've got what's called SBCs, special border controllers, to carry that traffic through via our SIP out to the PSTN to make it that external call. So that's from end to end how calls are flowing via Microsoft into Gamma and out via the PSTN. So this really just sums up in one slide exactly what we're offering with Cobweb. So key is it's a fully managed cloud service. So that means there's no hardware. You don't have to manage, configure, support anything yourself. This is provided as a fully managed cloud service. We've got these carrier grade Microsoft certified SBCs. We've made that huge investment to provide you a dedicated Teams architecture. With that, these SBCs are across multiple data centers. So you've got high available service. Resilient SIP build, so you don't have to worry about acquiring SIP separately. This is included via Cobweb as a per user per month basis, and we're doing this at scale. So you're going to get a high available, fully resilient and fully scalable service. We've got management and automation as part of this. So we've developed our voice app, and the voice app enables slick provisioning of the service. It also gives you the ability to manage DDIs and users very simply via our app. On top of that, we've included fraud management, and this is key. So this enables you to set limits on call spend on a daily and weekly basis, and you can increase or decrease that as you wish. So it protects for any call shock, but also maintains that you've got set £5 per day, £50 a week, whatever it is. You've got full control over that. For any fraudulent or any out of bundle minutes if they start scaling people calling international numbers, for instance. We're providing what's called Call Manager as standard. So this is really one of the key parts, and I'm going to touch on that in a bit more detail. But it allows you to manage all of your DDIs. That's geographic and non-geos. So your 03 and 08s can also be brought in if you have those into the platform. Once you've got those numbers in our platform, it enables you to build call plans. And these call plans and call routing can be for business continuity reasons and also automated DR. So if Teams does have an outage or a bit of a wobble at some point, your connectivity goes down, whatever the reason, SIP-Trunk Call Manager will be able to kick in and be able to reroute those calls based on your call plans to maybe a hunt group of mobiles. It could be to an automated message or a voicemail to email or another destination. So you've got full control over all of your numbers. This is a big one. Additionally, for business continuity as well, it gives you the control and power to be able to evoke these call plans at any given time via the platform or via a mobile app. We've got a substantial call bundle as well included. So you get 2,000 UK geo minutes, so that's 01, 02, 03, and 2,000 UK mobile as well. So there's a flexible calling tariff provided, and that is all inclusive on that subscription basis. Important to note, those minutes, those geographic and mobile minutes are pooled across all users. So really we're seeing this as an unlimited call bundle for UK geo and UK mobile. Bridget's already touched on this, but I just thought just important to highlight this point. You know, phone system itself, everything you've seen there within direct routing, all is within the back end. For an end user that coming in, using Teams, familiar with Teams today, the way they make internal calls, everything is exactly the same other than really access to the dial pad. So if you took the direct routing service and it lights up the dial pad for the users, very minimal on the training point of view. Now they're able to receive calls and also make external calls very simply via the dial pad, via the channels, or via the contacts that they have within Teams. So Call Manager. So this is over and above what you would have with Teams. So Teams provides some great reporting from a user level within Teams. This is over and above. So this gives you the ability to see where callers are calling from a network level. starting to see calling trends over 6 months. You've got how many calls are getting through by busy hours during a weekly period. So you can start seeing, actually, we've got a high number of unanswered calls. You can have a look and see if that's at certain points of the day and reevaluate your resources. So it just gives some really visual snapshots that you can download. Also, you can receive these as daily, weekly, or monthly reports. On top of that, there's something called advanced statistics. And this, again, at a network level, will be able to provide you details on, from an inbound perspective, who called when, duration of the call, calling number, and importantly, the outcome of that number and the destination of where that has gone. You've got filters within it, so you can have individual numbers, groups of numbers. You can do a lot of filtering on that to give you some real insight and business intelligence on the calls that you're receiving to your business. Appointment number, this is where you can build and manage all your call plans. So the call routing, again, at a network level before it reaches teams. Many of our customers use this for business continuity scenarios, such as fire alarm in the building, need to switch calls, maybe to mobiles. You can build this in place and actually manage that very simply via a mobile app. So as you're on your way down the stairs, activate that for all your numbers or certain numbers, and now calls are now routed to the main mobile numbers that you've highlighted. Very simple. Also, that's where you can do lots of your automated DR plan, disaster recovery plans. And yeah, very simply just shows the mobile app there where you can evoke that across all numbers and also see your statistics on the move as well. So for me, just to recap, yeah, it's a cost-effective and a substantial call bundle that you get included as part of the service. You get that consistent, reliable call quality with that 100% uptime. So we've launched this coming up 3 years now and had that 100% uptime of our service, so that rock solid service that you'll be receiving. You get that fully managed cloud service, so no capex, opex model, and the ability to not have to manage any on-premise equipment. We do all of that with Cobweb for you. That high available, resilient, scalable service, ease of management with fraud protection built in, and you've got the enhancement of the call manager I've just gone through. So with that, I'm going to pass you back over to Michael.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. There again, very enlightening. Direct routing can be confusing for some people, but you explain that extremely well. So thank you for that. Just before we move on to the Q&A, just a couple of things I wanted to say. At the end of this, I mentioned you'll get a copy of the presentation or a link to the presentation and an option to book a meeting with one of the experts here that we have at Cobweb. And I just wanted to enlarge upon that. As Cobweb, we were part of the vanguard that brought what was Business Voice to market in conjunction with Microsoft. So we were the partner that Microsoft chose to take this back in November 2019. So we've had a lot of experience of how this has evolved. So as a company, obviously, we use it as well. But I have a background which is very much steeped in voice. And the Holy Grail was always about having the ability to have real unified communications. And there'll be many people on this call who understand unified communications and been looking for it. And indeed, there are other companies out there that claim to be able to do it. Without question, the platform that we've got here with Teams Phone really does give you all that was looked for and sought for a few years ago in unified communications. I just think it's worth mentioning that before we move any further. But as I say, if you need any more information, contact one of our experts and we'd be happy to talk to you. At that point, let me hand over to Rich now, who is our quiz master. He has the questions. So over to you, Rich.
Thank you, Michael. The first question is for Paul. Would I be able to migrate my numbers to Gamma?
Yep, sure. So good question. So yes, you can. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. So there's probably a 1 in 3 chance that those numbers are already set on our network. So that's very simply, Cobweb can move those numbers over on your behalf to a said new direct routing service. Or those numbers will sit elsewhere. So it's what's called porting. So we can port those numbers. We've got agreements with all the top tier 1 providers. Anyway, porting is what we do. It's our bread and butter. Generally, it's a bit of a dark art, but yeah, those numbers will port over to the new service and become live. And that could be with porting. You can port all the numbers in one go with the migration piece, or you can individually move those depending on the ranges.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Patrick's had a question. I think they had some reliability issues with when they're not using PCs. So will there be any plans to improve the reliability of Teams on other devices, probably outside of PCs, for Bridget?
Yes, we have in the roadmap improved bandwidth, and that will be including other devices. I will be able to send a roadmap if it helps into the chat, and you'll be able to keep up with, if you don't already have it, the so let me put my camera on, what we have in store and when it's generally available. But this is something that the engineer team are working on.
Excellent, thank you. Is Teams Phone add-on included in 365 Business Premium without additional cost?
No, so Teams Phone is an add-on to Business Premium.
Okay, and does it integrate with Sage CRM?
Oh, that is a good question. I can definitely double check that for you. I don't know is the answer, but I can get back. Richard, if you wouldn't mind getting details of we'll
have Michael's details that we registered, so we'll certainly get back to you on that one, Michael.
Fantastic.
From Alex, what is the position regarding porting in UK mobile numbers?
Okay, porting in UK mobile numbers, no. We can't port in mobile or international numbers. There can be translations onto UK geo numbers, 0102 numbers.
Okay, excellent. How you get into cost, but what is the add-on cost, please? Michael's asked in terms on top of Business Premium.
If I can address that, more than happy to give you pricing on that. We can do that after the call. I'm not avoiding the question, but as was mentioned there by Bridget, the Teams Phone is an add-on to all Microsoft licenses except E5.
Okay, thank you very much. One more question we got here that's come in. Do phone system virtual user licenses have a cost?
I could take this one. That's a great question. Something we actually get quite often. The answer is no, basically. These are free licenses that are used to assign a resource account, and then that in turn gives ability to assign a phone number to an auto attendant or call queue, which is what I was speaking about earlier. So it's basically a dummy account, and the virtual user licenses are free. Excellent,
thank you. Does it support international calls?
Yes, you do. Yes, sorry. Sorry, but if it's a direct routing piece, yeah, you get the call bundle, which is UK Geo and UK Mobile. For international calls, there'd be a rate card for making those international calls at certain destinations that Michael can provide.
Okay. Another question that came in is it attachable to all different SKUs? So some people have got business. The one asking the question has Business Basics. Can you add Teams Phone to Business Basics and the other one, Standard, Premium, and E1, yes. E3?
Absolutely. And we've just included in the new Teams Essentials, which is just Teams Standalone, which you can get on its own subscription. You can then add Phone just to that as well as your starting SKU, all the way up to the enterprise SKUs. But as Michael said, E5 already comes with phone system.
Excellent. And I guess for Michael, then next steps would be to get in touch with Cobweb, and we can talk you through the bespoke requirements for each individual customer.
Absolutely, yeah, we'd be delighted to talk to people. Any more questions there, Rich?
One more just coming actually. Would it be suitable for a small company with a staff of around 5, and would there be online training and continued support?
Do you want me to address that? The answer is yes, and yes. we'd be happy to. There are, from an add-on point of view, as has been pointed out, it is to literally any license, with the exception, as I say, of E5. We have multiple training courses to fit the requirements, whether it be from an administrator, whether it be from a user, and size of company. We can train the trainer, we can train everybody. So yes, we cater for everything from that point of view.
Excellent. That's all the questions that come in. Thank you.
Okay, right. Well, it falls to me to bring this to an end. Thank you very much to Paul and to Bridget. Really appreciate it. I hope for everybody out there that they've found it informative. And any questions that you may have, please do contact us. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great afternoon.
Lovely. Thanks all. See
Thank
you
you.
next time.
Thanks. Bye.